Welcome back, guys. So today's project is I have to change out the auger drive belt on my snowblower. So what am I using? I got this a couple of years ago. It's an Elite 1227 Briggs and Stratton. It's an okay machine. I got it because it was cheap. I think it was $600 secondhand. Somebody was moving, didn't need it anymore. It's an okay machine. Now the drive auger in it wore out. A lot of people that have had snow blowers, snow throwers, whatever you want to call them, and I've had many, will sooner or later encounter the problem of either no drive, meaning no traction, or the auger starts to stall out and it's not throwing snow out of the chute. Okay. And what happens is inside here is an impeller, and it uses a separate belt to drive the impeller. Now, either the belt needs tightening, adjusting, or it's just starting to wear out. And you'll notice that because you might smell it, a burning rubber, or she just totally stops, or the belt snaps, it's worn out. I did put another belt on here, but trying to find the proper belt can be a bit of a pain. So that's when it comes down to some research and trying to figure out what size it uses. Now, if you don't get the proper size for these, you're only allowed so much adjustment. The adjustment for the pull assembly is right here. Okay, right there. It's a screw. You can undo this. Okay, you undo that and you turn this. All right, this little sleeve, and it adjusts this cable, which goes around a pulley, which goes inside, hooks up to another mechanism, and puts the tension on a pulley, which engages that drive belt. Anyways, I will show you which one it is. But before we get there, I have to remove some stuff on it, like that cover right there. There's a couple of bolts that will expose the belt that I'm going to try and work on. Okay, hang on. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. It's 10 mil. There's a 10 mil bolt right here, and on the other side that points vertically. So the idea here is to get rid of this plastic shroud. Underneath this plastic shroud holds the belts. The bolt over here, I have to put these extensions on, okay, to get at the bolt, which is right here. And that's it. 10 mil. So I wanted to get the shroud off first to actually inspect, because there's no sense taking anything apart. Yeah, this comes up. I might have to move the blower. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. It should just come straight up, and she does. Now, here's the drive belt from the motor to the actual drive assembly. Now you can see by all of this fur, okay, and probably inside the shroud. There you go. So this is what to look for. You will see a lot of frictionized belt. See that? That means the belt is slipping, needs tightening, and that's what you get. That's a telltale sign, rather, that something is not kosher, is off. All of this in here looks like a little mouse nest. That's your belt fiber that's been rubbing. So the belt here, this one, is way out of adjustment. Now to get this off, it's a lot of fun. Not really. But anyway, on either side of the machine, you've got these bolts. 2 over here, 2 on the other side. I think they're 12 mil. On this particular machine, all machines are made differently. And this drive one is cogged. It's got little teeth that go this way, so that feels pretty good. Now there is another model of these which has double auger drives and has another pulley extension over here, and it has another belt on it to help prevent this sort of thing. In my eyes, that's doubling the cost. But so yeah, this adjustment, the belt is almost touching itself. This is the belt I put on a temporary basis because I couldn't get the proper one. Now, anybody that's tried looking for belts for things knows it's a real bugger. Somebody says this side, and if you're off by a quarter to a half an inch, it can be a real pain. We end up buying a couple. So I'll be back and I'll show you the how I'm going to go about it from here. But definitely there's more into it because you've got goodies up here that need to be disconnected to allow the front of the blower to be pitched forward to give you access to in there. I'm not a professional. It's not like I do this every day, but I've done many of them. I just take my time. In a shop, yeah, they want to get you in and out, get the next one in, especially during the winter months here where there's a lot of people waiting for their stuff. So, on pause we go. I'll get to the next step. This is not a tutorial. There's lots of channels that do that. I'm just doing this just to kind of show you what's up here, guys. So, all right. Next step, undo those bolts. So like I said, there's probably a bunch of stuff you got to take apart, get out of the road. So this front bell housing, the whole entire bell housing right here, can be relieved and pitched forward. Now in this particular case, on this model, I have to release the spring. So, hoping the lighting's okay, I got to pull up on this, which is no problem to do, and that will let the top chute go free. See? This cable now turns upwards and falls out of the hole. Here, I'll try and get you over here. Something like that. Okay. Now this spring comes out of this slot. It was right here. Okay, in there. Now, this now has slack. Pull up on that. Wiggle this out of its home. Kind of like a bicycle sort of a setup. Yeah. You might need to just get a little pair of pliers on that. It just needs a little wiggling, and she'll pull right out of there. There you go. It just fits right in there like that. Simple. Now this will not pitch forward while stuff is here. So I'm just going to put that there. This needs to come off. Now you're probably wondering, why don't you just disconnect one of these in line on this shaft? It's because these are all pinned. They're not Allen heads or anything like that that can be undone. These are all split pins in here. Okay, so you got to come right to here to take off this top shroud. Don't know what size it is. We'll just grab a couple here. Is it that one? No, is that one? This looks like a 13 mil. Is it a 13 mil? Yes, it is. All right, so on this particular machine, you've probably seen these around. There are probably a lot of other ones. It's 13 mil. Okay, well, we'll just take that off. Expose that. This will take the cover right off. All right, number one. Number two. There should be a worm gear of sorts in here. All right, there. There. I like putting the nuts back on if I can help it. Nothing gets kicked around or lost. So what we have here is a drive worm. It's a worm. It's angled this way, and it hooks into a round sprocket here. So as the handle turns to move the chute around, but that's got to come out of the road. So how to do that? It should just slide right in there. Well, I don't want to monkey with that. Or we'll just end up taking, does that gear come in? Yeah. So that's all welded on. That can't be moved. Don't want to play with the tension on the sprocket. I'm thinking come down here, or is it easier to get it off from the front? I forget, it's been a while. So I'm just looking up front here. And it's about the same difference. All right, I'll just analyze this and we'll be back. Yeah, we kind of forget sometimes, don't we? Anyways, this comes off. I forgot. This comes off, the shroud, these nuts. I put them on to keep them safe, but no, these come off. Hence why I had deep throat sockets out here. Yeah. Silly me. Silly rabbit. Sometimes not all of the answers are complicated. So yes, this comes out. It drops this away. Me forgot. All right. Yeah, that will stay put. There goes the plow. There. There it is. That's disengaged. I'll put these guys on the table. So yes, the whole system now is free flowing. You may be wondering, well, this here is attached to a bracket down here, which is welded to another bracket that goes on the side. We're not that far yet, but we could undo this to give us more room to pitch it forward. All right. That's where we are so far. Like I said, this is a Briggs and Stratton 1227. All right, pausing. All right, coming back in here. There's bolts on the side. Right here. There's your tire. Right in front, you'll see some bolts here. I believe you can leave the bottom one in. These are 13s. Pull them out. And like I said, I'm not professional. I could have done something this way or that way. And I just loosened that, I believe, so it can just pitch. All right, well, we're going to try that first. So I'm just going to go on the other side, do the same. You can't see me in here, but I'm here. Not like you need to see me. All right, and the bottom one, I'm just loosening for now. Okay. Technically, this should be loose. But when you go to move this forward, yep, okay, see, she wants to break free now. Technically, this will not go anywhere. Well, very little room if this is in place. Now, this belt was really worn. It just come off on its own, which is no good. Let me bring you into the picture. See, when you see that on your machine, well, it's worn out, it's been stretched, or it's broken, or whatever the case may be. So I was just able to flip that over. All right, we'll be back. Yeah, excuse me. So yes, the bottom bolt had to come out too, on both sides. Years ago, they made it the other way around, where there was a shaft that was glued to this or welded to it, and a hook part that just went in and grabbed that, and then you just lift it up. It was like a self-aligning thing. Now they've gone with this design. Cut down on costs, I suppose. This should split now. Yes. There you go. So, you will find you won't be able to go all the way. Because the belt will be stopping it if your belt didn't break. Right in here, see? And it's still stuck around the auger pulley. So yes, if your belt broke, well, you don't have to worry about this. But if she didn't and she's worn out, then you'll have to remove it. Okay, so that's her split now. I will have to split it some more, because at the bottom there is a break, or I just have to pull back on the handle. Yeah, that's right. There's almost looks like a bicycle brake block, but this fits the groove in here and in there. It's a block, and when you pull off on the handle, the spring releases it. It goes in there, and it's a friction brake to stop this from spinning. That's at the bottom. We'll have to have a look at that in a second. All right, we carry on. What did you just offer me?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Oh, that's hard. Coffee and pumpkin pie sounds good to me. All right, and
Break time.
yeah, break time. Okay, and we got Gibson the burrito dog over here. Yeah, we cover him up. There, here. There's Gibson the burrito. All right. So yes, back to the blower. Before this can be totally split, sorry about the glare, you got to release this cable here out of the holder. To do that, obviously we got the spring done already. You just move this screw, the bolt, all the way up to the top till it reveals the wire. All right, all the way up to the top. It should be any time. I'm trying to do this with one hand, guys. Not the fun. All right, you see that there? That will drop down, and the wire comes out. And there's a spring down here that has to be relieved off the tensioner. Oh, where am I? Oh, no, off this tensioner here. And that's it there. And that hooks up in there. So now there's no tension of any sort on the front bell housing. She is free to be split. Okay, so we'll get back to that right after the break. Okay, so after you've got it split, it should look something like this. There's your front intake housing, and down here is the other belt. This belt here stays on, and it's got a special drive. Can you see those teeth on there? This belt looks pretty good. Ordinarily, if I had one, I would switch it out too, but I don't. So now all you have to do is release this spring right there, take the tension off of this, and put your new belt on, and we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so now the next step is to loosen this guy. This is like a keeper bar, so that when this is spinning around, the vibrations don't make it skip the pulley. So you got to loosen that. You don't have to take it off. It's a nylon. All right, just loosen that and see. Then she comes out. That belt. This is the new one. Sorry. So that will come out of there. And as you can see, this is kept in by this spring. That is another keeper thing. I was talking about a rubber boot before, or a shoe that actually fit in here at one time. That's how they used to do it. Now they've eliminated that and just have it so it's a steel on steel kind of a braking system. So to relieve the spring, you just need a set of pliers, pull the tension off it, and you'll be good to go for pulling the rest of the belt out. So what's the easier way to do it? Well, I would just take it off this pin here. Yeah. Obviously it goes that way. vice grips, locking vice grips, or something to that nature, would probably be a good call. That just needs to come out. She's on there with some good tension. Or maybe we'll just go up top. There we go. So now that's out of the road. Now this belt is free because, see, there's no tension on here now, which is runs in one kind of motion like this. That comes out. And bingo, the old belt is off. So that got stretched. New belt goes on, and in the meantime, if you wanted to, you could take a brush and get rid of all this belt fiber out of here from where it was rubbing. This isn't terribly bad. Just a little bit here and there. On goes the new belt. Slips in over the friction bar. That will come like that and up to the new one. So this can be put back on here. This nudged in here about as far as it will go, just like that. And tighten her up. Okay. So we'll carry on. This is not a tutorial, guys. It's just a quick breakdown. If you don't know or don't have the patience or the want to do it, then don't. Have a neighbor or somebody do it for you, or an actual shop. I try to do as much as I can, and if you look at the previous videos, you will see that Teresa and I do as much as we possibly can ourselves for as long as we can. Whether it's working on the old beast, the old F-150, or chimney cleaning, or tree pruning, or whatever I can touch my hand to save money is usually a pretty good thing. And I think more and more people are getting that way in this climate. So the assembly will be the reverse of what I've shown you. Keep track of where things went, and good luck to you when you do it. This all has to be put back, clips and things put on, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, thanks for hanging out this long, if you have. I hope it's been somewhat informative. I'm not a professional videographer or anything. We're just get by guys and get by people. Alright, so until we return. Yeah, so while you got them split, this is the other part, the main part of the blower. Okay, this gives you a perfect chance to have a look, see how things are making out. Excuse me. All right. So when it's like this, she'll be in neutral. Okay, I've got the handles against the garage door, just holding it there. I got a piece of firewood sitting here as the chalk, the wheel chalk. So this gives you a chance to investigate your belt, turn it, and make sure there's no splits or anything. This doesn't have any weird play. Seems pretty good. Gives you a chance to check out some springs, make sure there's no springs broke. That's a floater spring in there. And to do some cleaning. I'm just shooting some oil on it. Not on the belt. Do not put it on the belt. She'll lose all the grip. I'm just doing this so it adds a bit of a an oily coating to deflect snow and stuff so snow doesn't build up on it. Technically, no snow should get in here, but you never know. And you get in here, clean out all the rubbish. Maybe some gravel or soil or something got in there, or leaves. Okay. And you want this clean so that the surfaces for the two to come back together, they don't have anything in there to obstruct it. So, perfect time just to have a quick look. Make sure everything's kosher. Springs and things are where they belong. They're not broken, what have you. There's no nicks on pulleys to start shredding a belt or anything. Just generic stuff, guys, that's all. That's all I'm doing. Now, this plate here, it actually pivots. Okay? When you pull down on your drive handle up on the top of the machine, it pulls on this cable right here, on this design, and it brings it in and makes it pivot. The reason it does that is because there's a drive back here, a drive wheel, which you also have to look at every once in a while. The rubbers on the end of the drive wheel tend to wear out. So that's something else to keep an eye on right back here. And it feels like this drive wheel is metal. I always thought, oh wait, yeah it is. It's rubber. So that rubber drive wheel back here wears out. If ever you notice that you're starting to lose drive and it's not pushing you forward anymore or pulling you forward, if it's not this, then it's the drive belts let go. If the drive belt's okay and you've made some adjustments, slack adjustments on the cable, and it still doesn't want to do it, then chances are it's this main, see I'm turning it, and it's making everything move. Chances are it's this drive wheel back here. They can be replaced. Like I said, it's got a rubber runner around the pulley. But I'm not going to show you that. That's a whole lot of extra work. But inside there's a chain. Just make sure things are okay. Nothing's interfering with anything. Just as a preliminary kind of cursory look over, we'll say. And a bit of gravel. Get you out of there. So, yeah, this looks good. And it's not, the cable runs right next to it. There's some gears in there. Nope, it's not binding or anything. So far so good. And like I said, this pivots. It can be removed. I'm not going to do that. So we'll leave that like that. You could throw some oil on it. They're not made the way they used to be. There should be a bushing or something in there to prevent friction. And they're just sitting there more or less. This bracket goes back on over here. I have to remove that. You'll have to remember how it was aligned. It goes like this. All right, and then hooks up to the pulley on the inside. All right, so I'm just going to finish this off. You don't have to watch me do that. You could take an old brush or something and just whisk around it, depending on how anal you are to clean. I might spray just a little bit of oil here and there on some rusty parts I see. Just to minimize everything. So, but don't forget to chalk the wheel. Excuse me again, I'm walking in front of the camera. And you can't see that, but yeah, I just put a chunk of wood over there to chalk the wheel so the whole system doesn't roll ahead of you, because I just have the rear handles against the garage door there, see, as a helper and support. All right, we'll be back hopefully further along. Okay, so put the two halves back together. It's all cleaned up, and now you got to put these 3 bolts back in. If you're working alone, I would suggest starting at the bottom. It seems to want to kick out that way. So these are the 3 bolts. Get a screwdriver. Put the screwdriver into the top one. Don't hurt the threads. Put it in there. Wiggle it around until the bottom lines up. Okay. Now she doesn't. So needs to come in pretty much lined up. Maybe just a little bit of up action, as you can see. That should have it. And she's going in on an angle, just a little bit, couple of threads. It's okay. I'll put you up there, leave you there, and just slowly turn and give it a little bit of sideways pressure. There you go. Okay. Now, and you just keep following along. That one, same on the other side. Belt's in there. That's the new belt. The tension has been set for the lowest. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute or so. Okay. All right, so once the 2 parts are back together, meaning all of these bolts are put in, both sides, then you have to reattach this spring. That spring right there. That spring goes into that hole. When you pull on your rear left handle, it engages that to engage the auger. Now on the other side, you can see where the wire goes. There's a bracket right there. That one right there. Okay, it has to be put back in place. Let's go over there. And yeah, it's that one right there. See, that bolt, that bolt. So when you got that back in place, just make sure that the wire is on the pulley. All right, I'll take it off and show you what I mean. There. There's the pulley, and the wire goes in the groove of the pulley. All right, now you have to flip it over, and you'll have to make sure that that pulley goes in the groove, or the wire goes in the groove of the pulley. A little bit of fun, awkward, but you'll do it. And before I started all this, I did loosen this right here underneath the rear handle. All right, so see all those threads? That's tension adjustment. So I move this part here all the way down as loose as it would go. All right, so the more thread showing, the looser it's going to be. And as you get everything together and you do your first trial runs, you'll be able to see what has kept the tension. Now, if the auger is slipping while you're trying to blow snow, then that just needs to be turned up to tighten. Okay, and this guy here comes down and locks on that. All right. Almost there. Okay, by the time you're done, you got the pulley in, everything done, that spring there connected, the bracket on the other side over there tightened up. This is what it should look like pretty close. Sorry about the lines in the screen. There's an LED light close to it. I'll get Teresa to push down on the handle. Now, do you see what that does? That there pushes the belt that way to snug on the auger pulley. Okay, that's how that works. Let go, cycle it a few more times, and push it down so your hand locks. There. So that's what you're after. And oh yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, now like I said, we're coming over here by trees. Excuse me, honey. And if it's still not quite right, you're going to come over here and you're going to play with this adjustment. All right, so as you can see, as this belt wears out more and more, you will get several adjustments just by undoing this. All right, and turning this upwards will make the adjustment on that pulley tighter. But you can only do this so many times before you'll run out of adjustment. And when you're running out of adjustment, or the belt's just giving right up, this pulley here, this pulley here will sooner or later start to bind on that pulley way down there, and you're out of adjustment. Okay, so that's a heads up. Not looking too bad. A few more little things to put on, and then a test drive. Okay, thanks for hanging around this long. I hope this stuff is helpful. Yeah. And so this is the Elite 1227. And I'll show you more about it in a little bit. And there we go. She's all back together. A little bit of fiddling. Got that all back together. She's all buttoned up. Lube some joints here and there and springs, but there's one thing I want to do before I start blowing, and that is adjust the rake edge there. That's done with those brackets right there, either side. I have a gravel driveway, and I don't want to pick up, that's where this mud and stuff come from, and there's still some in there from the chute. See it in there? So I don't want to scrape up all the gravel and start shooting it. So the way you do that is with these plastic feetsies. Some are metal, some are plastic, and so all you got to do, it's a 13 mil nut. Make sure they're nice and loose, and I'm going to use some shimming material, just some wood on the inside. So we want that bottom edge. Kind of hard to see, but this edge here, right there, that's what scrapes your driveway. The cutting edge there. See it? I want to put a gap under that so it's not scraping grass. So to do that, you loosen those feetsies. And I'm thinking, yeah, about ½ inch. Something like that, okay? Now, if you have a concrete or an asphalt driveway, well, you don't really need to worry about that. But if you got a gravel drive, yeah. Yeah, we'll just get that more centered. I'm just going with 1/2 inch. Let's see what that does. And then, right there, you see it's lifted up the feet. You just push them down as far as they go till they bottom out. So just a second here, I have to, there we go. Might need to loosen it a bit more. There. Alright, there. So it's nice and flat. Do the same on the other side. Okay, keep it flush, flat. Click. And click. Those are 13 mil. Go to the other side. And there you go. Make sure these are loose. We can loosen them some more. Yeah, they get crud behind them, especially if you got gravel driveway. There you are. Just take it, and then we'll tighten them up. And just give that a shot. So that'll give me about 1/2 inch. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful on this belt breakdown for the auger. Would I recommend this machine? Well, I don't know. Each machine has a perk, or it's got a bug or something. But this one, these linkages, a little weak. But all in all, they're pretty much all the same, designed the same way. This has the little helper switches on there. I don't use them. But I hope this was helpful. I wasn't planning on doing it. I thought, bring you guys along for the ride. It's about 4 years old. In good nick. And so, keep it that way. Again, if you don't think you can do this, get somebody to do it for you. It may challenge your patience, but anybody that has a little bit of mechanical background, you can accomplish this. It's really not that bad. Okay? The official light holder.
Gotta help somehow.
And the supervisor. All right. Oh, and the belt I ended up using. Brought me right into the middle. 1/2 by 34 inch. Okay? TSC, $12. I know, it's PV Mart or whatever the heck they want to call it now. It's TSC to me. 1/2 by 34 inch. Like I said, there's a model that needs 2 of those. Please drop a like and a subscribe or a thumbs up or not. I'm all...
Comment.
Yeah, just to let us know.
Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, like We hardly got any comments on our channel. I guess, well, it's because we're just boring people. I know. We're just simple, boring people. We don't know anything on it. Yeah, whatever. Bye till next time.